had a story last week in which we touched on them Pokedex changes.
Yeah.
We've had an update to that story.
Oh, are you guys excited for the update?
Well, let's see here. The boss of the Pokemon Company, well, Game Freak,
Whatever.
has a message.
For all of you Pokemon gamers.
Mr. Junichi Masuda of Game Freak, producer of Pokemon Sword and Shield, says, "Thank you to all our fans for caring so deeply about Pokemon. Recently, I shared the new... Well, to run the story back, they are not putting all the Pokemon in the new game, and if you bring them forward into the new Pokemon Home, which is the new bank, there's a bunch that just don't exist in Sword and Shield.
And it becomes Pokemon Jail.
So you can bring them in, but you can't pull them out.
And people started the National Dex campaign, which is basically, nah, come on, I want my Pokemon. Delay the game. I don't give a shit.
It is no longer about catching them all.
Or a live update, or fucking something.
Yeah. And, yeah, so that's what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you to all our fans for caring so deeply about Pokemon. Recently, I shared the news that some Pokemon cannot be transferred to Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. I've read your comments, and I appreciate your love and passion for Pokemon. Just like all of you, we are passionate about Pokemon, and each and every one of them is important to us. So after many years of developing Pokemon video games, it was a very difficult decision. I'd like to make one thing clear. Even if a specific Pokemon is not available in Sword and Shield, it doesn't mean it won't appear in future games.
Yeah, but
the world of Pokemon continues to evolve. Galar offers new encounters. Junichi Masuda.
So, but
in other
he did
words,
say in his former statement, there will likely never be another Pokemon game ever that includes all of them. So even if the Pokemon that isn't here comes back later, a different one may be not there.
Oh, so a rotating bench.
Yeah.
So we can bring in the second string, and then they can be in that one. Yeah.
I really think...
It's a lot of work, right? It's a crazy amount of work, and it might not be in the time frame, possibly even the budget, but then you consider two things. One, the time frame can be what
Adjusted.
You want it to be if you adjust it, and two,
it's
Pokemon.
It's like you said the
what
okay,
budget?
For people not watching this with their face,
Yeah.
when Woolie said budget, I had 5 emotions hit my mouth at once. Just
Now, in a game development context, even the companies with infinite money still allot a budget to a project.
Sure.
It has a given,
Yeah.
And there might even be an outside flex of how hard that or how heavy that can go, if you account for huge problems, massive failures, resubmissions.
Yeah. So, like, there's been we see this a lot in the game biz where it's like there's a single unfortunate phrase that gets uttered that takes over the whole conversation forever. Like, it was a long time, and I still look at the fucking Eidos Tomb Raider as a girl that I'm supposed to protect, right? Just unfortunate phrasing. I genuinely believe that the National Dex situation would be way calmer right now if Matsuda didn't come out and say that we can't put all the Pokemon in because we're spending so much time on the animations. Because this has led to people breaking down just how terrible and basic the animation has been as soon as they switched to 3D models.
So a world without that type of press would have just had speculation as to why they weren't in.
Yeah.
And that would have been it for
but
the
like
whole time.
Clemps made a video about Mr. Clemps on YouTube. He's a friend
He's a
of
soggy
the show.
boy.
He's our favorite rat person.
Soggy boy.
I don't know where that came from, but I like it.
Ahegao Academy.
All right. He put out a fucking video before Sword and Shield even got shown, like I want to say like a year or more ago, where he just doesn't feel the same about the 3D Pokemon as he does about the sprites. And that later got extrapolated. It became a more common sentiment of like all the old Pokemon had really distinct poses, and some of them had distinct animations, and then the 3D Pokemon basically are just A-posing. They're in their default pose, and then they'll do a little jump, and then like a sprite appears on the enemy to symbolize an attack, right? For most purposes, these things don't actually animate at all.
No one had any reason to take a look at this and think about it until
The real super fans did, and some people were disappointed.
yeah, but it was at the end of the day, you're like, it's Pokemon, whatever. It's on the table, and you just expect it to be basic because there's a lot of things that have to have the same moves, right?
And then
there are more Pokemon than there are moves, therefore.
Yeah. And then you look back at now he says that, and everyone's like looking at footage from E3 of like. And yeah, it's an incomplete game, but it's like the fucking seagulls like posing like without flapping their wings through environments. And the one that really gets me is people were going back to the Pokemon Coliseum and Stadium games and looking at the incredible amount of animation work they put into every single fucking Pokemon, including unique faint animations for every single one of them.
So what this really did was it touched on something I guess this is why the term watershed exists in a way where it's like, you hit it and then now the dam broke and now it's all fucking coming loose. Because as someone that is not a hardcore Pokemon player,
same here.
I feel like there has just been a common sort of like more or less acceptance that Pokemon doesn't really evolve, or
it does very slowly,
right? As a game, it really doesn't go places that are super different from where it's gone before.
It takes...
Despite the fact that it's about evolution in new regions.
It takes 5 years to catch up to 5 years ago.
Yes. And we're all pretty much like on the same page where it's like, yep, we're getting remixed region. We're getting... regions are just remixes of your map tiles.
Yeah.
And Pokemon they're all new designs or whatever, but for the most part, you're kind of getting a slow but more or less the same thing.
But that's okay
because at the end of the day,
adding to a big roster and there's more pieces to play with.
Yes. And now the idea that like up until now, you'd heard me talking about like, why can't we get a big 3D world, right?
Yeah.
And other people kind of feel that way as well. But the accepted thing is, it's just they're delivering the same product they've always delivered. It's gonna be Pokemon. That's fine. Mega Man is Mega Man is Mega Man.
You'll be able to turn the camera.
But
now in your Mega Man game, you'll fight 3 robot masters
instead of 8. You've taken some away, and people go, why is that? And then it's like, well, because we're doing all these cool new things,
and then you're like, what cool new things?
You never do the cool new things, and we don't
also
expect you to do the cool new things.
To be fairly blunt, the cool new thing that they're doing for Pokemon Sword and Shield is something that would feel at home in 2006. Like the open world and the way that game looks. Like, look how, that's a decade old now.
Yeah.
There's a really hilarious series of images that people sent me of Ocarina of Time Link photoshopped into Sword and Shield screenshots. And he looks fine.
Yeah. I feel as if when you're talking about these fucking these massive franchises, these main Nintendo entities, right? Like, fans cannot make Breath of the Wild.
No, fuck no. That's super impossible.
Fans can very easily make Sword and Shield and have already done it.
There is, gameplay-wise, going to be significantly better versions of Sword and Shield that will exist immediately that Nintendo will likely go after super hard.
And the shut down projects to date have consisted of games that do make Pokemon more complex that fans have done, where it's like that effort is like making Game Freak's effort with not even 3D, with just simple sprite work. Like, look, like, what are you actually
Game Freak looks like a company that got to dodge the Japanese problems with HD development because they make goddamn Pokemon.
And Pokemon is allowed to be as simple and as basic as it always has been, with slight updates to make things. Now they're 3D.
And as a bonus, Gen 1ers, Gen 2ers, Gen 3ers, etc. are all adults now.
Yeah. Now, if this were the equivalent of Monster Hunter to Monster Hunter World.
Fucking yeah. Take them out. Woolie, it's exactly the same. We lost.
Although, how many monsters did you lose?
We lost. Okay, fucking GU, fucking whatever, had
Yep.
like 90 to 110 or some shit.
Well, how many did World have?
30
on release.
35, 30, there around there.
And
With
then-
Iceborne, it's going to be around 54.
And they started dropping more in as
Yeah.
time went on. But
holy shit!
And everyone,
look at all this shit.
and everyone that popped that in was like ultimately like, I miss.
Yeah, it'll take a game or two.
I miss them. But hey, look at what this game is.
But
now.
also, do you know what Capcom came out and said? We're working really hard to get as many classic monsters in as fast as possible, and we're gonna work hard over the long haul to get as many as we can in.
But the question of at what cost resulted in a giant world that you could actually
Increased mechanical depth and ease, and it looks gorgeous, and
so it was very visible and understandable what the trade-off was for getting all those monsters you wanted.
Everyone went, yeah, I'll take that trade, and wait 2 years to get some more. And
this is not even remotely close.
Where's the trade?
This is not even remotely close to anything like what Monster Hunter World
We're
did.
losing 700 Pokemon so that we can turn the camera. I feel like that's actually it. We're getting high res X and Y, but you can turn the camera.
I didn't want to just say it's just X and Y because I'm like,
Woolie,
maybe there's something I haven't paid attention to.
They
where
made
it's like
X and Y and said that the reason the game ran bad was because the models were higher quality to future-proof them for later games when it went to HD fucking consoles.
So
they said it's higher res X and Y.
like my brain, when I saw the footage of Sword and Shield, I'm like, oh yeah, it's X and Y. But I'm like, I don't want to say that, just in case everyone's like, hey, idiot, it looks way better, you're wrong. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I haven't seen it in a long time.
No one is saying that.
It really is.
It just is.
So you're using the framework that you already had, and like,
Oh, people are telling me you can't even turn the camera in some.
so it's a sequel based off of the thing you already had, and then you're building the new
And it's a problem because like
models in the world.
The
but
number one thing about Pokemon is Pokemon. It's literally the name of the thing.
yeah. So I wish I saved it, but I didn't. But someone had a really funny the fucking IQ meme, the mind,
The Galaxy Brain
meme of like all the things that get removed
Yeah.
from Pokemon. So it's like remove this, remove that, and it literally is like it goes further than I've ever seen them go.
Yeah.
It's like about maybe like 15 or 16 steps long, and the final one is just a fucking like Illuminati triangle covering all of
Can
existence.
somebody send me that on Twitter? I want to see this.
It's
Pokemon.
fucking hilarious. It lists all the things that get removed, and then the last one in giant red text with the Illuminati triangle observing over all of existence is remove Pokemon from Pokemon. You know,
I have a friend of mine who's a diehard Pokemon fan. He's got a living dex, so this affects him most of all. And there's a bunch of shit that you and me don't even know about that are problems. Do you remember Mega Evolutions?
yes,
Do you remember Z moves?
I remember them being introduced in a trailer where you do the gestures.
Okay, guess what? Fuck those mechanics.
Yeah, they replaced it with the other thing now.
Yeah. And like this has apparently been an ongoing thing of here's the cool new mechanic that we'll add to like 15 Pokemon, and Charizard and Mewtwo will get one.
Yes.
And
that's it.
We're gonna dump it next time.
Yeah. And it was like the idea was like too expensive to do a new number and model for every single Pokemon to give it a Z evolution version, right? It was just too much.
And there is one thing to say. I know everybody's talking about crunch now, right?
Nintendo has pulled back on that, and we had a news story
Right.
about how they've.
I in no
stopped-
way advocate for crunching the Game Freaks. Okay? But, and I have seen that it's like, listen, if you were to delay the game to add the Pokemon, whatever, you would screw up a bunch of other people's jobs, like the people running the anime and the merch and all that, right? To that I say,
synchronicity.
the fact that this thing is such a giant multimedia avalanche of money should not be used as a reason to not improve it. It should be the reason that it gets money thrown at it to improve it. I don't care that there's an anime, movie, card, merch, school back to school tie-in for Pokemon.
That shouldn't matter.
If it means that none of that money improves the game.
And none of that should matter or take precedent to the fact that it's about Pokemon. Literally.
It's about fucking Pokemon.
It's about fucking Pokemon. And the thing
You've
about
been talking to Eli again, haven't you?
No, but like the fact that it's like blah. What am I trying to say here? The Pokemon.
Did you open your Twitter on the camera?
Oh, I guess I did.
Don't do that.
Well,
we follow people that you cannot open that Twitter on that camera.
okay. Well, I'm looking for that post I couldn't.
Oh, I
find.
found it.
You got it?
Got it. Remove difficulty options. Remove contests. Remove seasons. Remove super. They remove super training.
So
They remove super training. Okay. Remove Dex Nav. Remove PSS. Don't know what that is. Remove Mega Evolutions. Remove following Pokemon. Yeah, that's in Go, and it's not here. Remove Battle. They remove Battle Frontier. Remove National Dex, and then remove Pokemon. I didn't even know they got rid of super training. That was really useful.
I don't.
What's PSS?
Where'd you get the picture?
I just I think Mr. Sup sent it to me.
Okay.
I'll retweet it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll retweet it. Here you go.
It's.
You check that out at Angriest Pat on Twitter.
It is
What
hilarious.
What is PSS? I'm trying to find out what it is.
Yeah. Difficulty options. Remove difficulty options. Remove contests.
Player search system.
Remove seasons. Remove super training. Remove Dex Nav. Remove PSS. Remove Mega Evolutions. Remove following Pokemon. Remove Battle Frontier. Remove National Dex.
And
remove
remove
Pokemon.
It's
yeah. Fantastic.
the player search system was some kind of online thing.
Yeah. That's.
This is the weirdest part, is that usually you expect...
I've never seen it go this far.
When you get an iterative sequel, the biggest thing about having iterative, pseudo-unchanging sequels is that the feature list just grows. Why doesn't it ever grow? It's going backwards now. You know, people say, oh, next-gen dumbed-down games and we lose features, and sports games had it really bad. This is like a decade of just add it, then take it away. Add it, then take it away.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say was effectively that, like, the watershed, right? The thing that more or less everyone was fine with was the basic agreement that you would just keep giving the same thing with a little bit more added on to what was there last time.
I just want more sprinkles.
And nothing taken away.
Yeah.
And we want to someday walk into a Monster Hunter World equivalent game.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to not give that to us within the next 10 years.
20.
It would be great if you did, but it feels like you don't want to because the bare minimum is letting you coast.
Yeah.
And we'll accept that. Just take what existed and add a little bit more. And then in this case, you're getting less than what was there before. And now everyone goes, what the fuck?
I think an important thing is that people will look at this and go, the devs are lazy. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think the company is complacent.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely something like that was planned in the scope that they decided against.
And the people working on it are
they
doing
must
their
have,
damnedest.
And I want to say that they definitely didn't look and go like it's impossible, but they just kind of said, well, they probably didn't think it mattered as much as it did to people, right? And if you consider that they've had games before where you kind of like when they did the jump, right? They ditched the blue and silver and shit like that. So the kind of thought process was, well, new generation, new jump, new gap, it'll be fine. The people will just get used to it, and then the future will fix the problem. But the proposition is just not equivalent in terms of what's new to make it worth it.
This is why I look at Pokemon Go and Pokemon Masters, and I just kind of start scratching my head, because those are alternate versions of Pokemon that just remove even more to not scare the kids. And it's
and we say this as people that are not actively following Pokemon. Not
I feel really bad
it.
for anybody with a national deck,
Just
with a living
on the-
dex, and who cares about Pokemon?
You know, on the outside, observing what they're doing, going like, "Why are you doing it this way?" So,
Hey, Wooly, Street Fighter 6 comes out. 6 characters to start roster.
oh, you mean new generation?
Yeah. Oh, what was wrong with New Generation? It was
The
a massive disaster?
Well, yes, but the first version of new generation had no Ken and Ryu.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the combat kids plus Oro and Dudley.
Sick.
Yeah. Personally, excuse me, I don't mind the idea of like I like it's blasphemous to not have a Ken and Ryu, and I know like not having Scorpion in MK3 was the biggest mistake ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind unpopular opinion, right? But I'm okay with the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
But you got to pass the torch.
All right, so take Pikachu out of the next Pokemon game.
Yeah, right.
What?
Well,
what?
yeah. Yeah.
I'm being shot?
Where'd this hole in my body come from?
Charizard, gone. Yeah. Pikachu, gone.
Dude, Soul Calibur 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, totally. Like,
I get it. I get it.
And there are people that are way into Pokemon who, like, yes, we know Gen 1's important, blah, 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 but are like, fuck, there's going to be like 70 Gen 1 Pokemon flooding the list, the max list every time.
Oh, yeah.
Pikachu will never not be in a Pokemon game.
Blastoise better be there.
Right, like...
I'm not playing it.
So,
yeah,
like, that, you know...
My favorite, I have a favorite. Why isn't my favorite in it?
It's,
yeah, half of the original 151.
If there was like a fucking argument in some meeting room out in Japan where the merch guys are like, "What do you mean? Not every Pokemon are going to be in the game?
I bet you.
What do you mean I can't make a doll out of 1,000 Pokemans?"
Like, I bet you they've got full metrics on exactly how popular every single one is. That feels like it would be the second most important job of the Pokemon company.
The whole thing.
The number one most important job is to make a Pokemon product.
Yeah.
The second most important job is to figure out
Pokemon
which one to make.
Pikachu. Just keep making Pikachu. Ooh, I just got a shiver of excitement. You know what people are going to be really mad about? When the anime goes to Sword and Shield and Ash has a Pokemon that you can't use in the game. Think about that. Think about that.
Would they dare?
Ash is like, Butterfree, go get it. And you're like, motherfucker, I can't Butterfree that shit.
Would they dare? I can't.
There's a very possibility. Depends on what the communication's like.
There's no way. They would not. There's no fucking
I'm excited.
way.
I'm now waiting with bated
And
breath.
I know everyone in the anime is going to be fucking like on lock to figure out exactly if anything gets shown in the show that doesn't exist in the game.
Oopsie.
But there's no way they're going to fuck it up that bad. That would be hilarious. That'd be wild. It's like, I can't even do what the fuck it... Yeah, okay.